and welcome to the State of the Union. Following a very tight race in the United States, it's no secret that most European capitals are more than happy or even relieved with Biden's victory. But what does Europe expect from a Biden administration after 4 fractious years of Trump? Well, it's the first time that major political parties from both right and left agree that this change would affect in a positive way all aspects of doing politics, both in terms of cooperation and substance. The head of the dominant centre-right political family in the European Parliament, Manfred Weber, told Euronews he already sees a major shift.
The immediate impact will be that the talks in London, for example, on the Brexit issue are getting better for us Europeans, because Johnson cannot tell anymore to the citizens in Great Britain that he will get an immediate great trade deal with the Americans. Nobody will buy this anymore. On the other hand, Biden was always a clear supporter on the Good Friday Agreement, strengthening the Irish position in the talks. So it is creating, again, a positive leverage for us as Europeans in the talks with our British friends.
Well, he has good reason to believe that, considering back in September, Joe Biden took a clear position on the question of the Irish border, tweeting that we can't allow the Good Friday Agreement that brought peace to Northern Ireland to become a casualty of Brexit. Any trade deal between the US and UK must be contingent upon respect for the agreement and preventing the return of a hard border. Period. Joining me now from Athens to discuss what else Joe Biden might bring once taken over is the president of the Socialist International and former Prime Minister of Greece, Mr. George Papandreou. Mr. Papandreou, thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure, Mrs. Koutsoukosta.
Although most European capitals were quite happy with Biden's victory, it's no secret that in parts of Europe, especially in Central Europe, Trump has been openly supported by some governments. So is this Trump's defeat a defeat also for Trumpism, a defeat for liberal democracies also in Europe?
It's certainly a blow to a type of leadership which was illiberal, because what Trump did was he gave a green light to a type of leadership which was and is authoritarian, anti-democratic, amoral, anti-scientific, and highly divisive and polarizing. Of course, I do want to say, because I was born in the US and I've spent many years of my life in the US, I'm really appalled by the fact that the high-ranking Republicans are damaging the image and the credibility of the United States globally today by showing distrust in their own democratic institutions just to hold on to power. On the other hand, as you mentioned, there is a movement there. There are real problems. And I don't believe the problems that we are facing, whether it's climate change, the pandemic has shown, the huge inequalities, access to healthcare, the need for access to education, the issue of technology and how it's displaced many people, but also how it can be used better, gender violence, these are major issues which are creating uncertainties, fear in our societies, and they're being exploited by these authoritarian demagogic leaders. We have to fight back and be able to show that progressive democratic politics is the way to solve these issues.
So what Europe should expect from a Biden administration? Will the old transatlantic alliance simply return to its pre-Trump state?
Well, Trump has damaged the transatlantic alliance, the relationship between the European Union and the US, and not only. And Biden certainly wants to repair it. But at the same time, I think it is a new era. And Europe has learned that it must be much more autonomous in its policies globally. It must play a role. And I think we have lost the opportunity, and now is a new opportunity, to rebuild or rethink the multilateral system so that it is more effective. Europe should take up on its own initiative and not simply wait and expect from the US.
As a former Prime Minister of Greece and Foreign Minister, of course, do you see any real change of the United States under Biden's position towards Turkey and its president? And I'm saying that, of course, because it's well known that Mr. Erdogan is losing a good friend from the White House.
Well, I know Joe Biden very well, and he's very knowledgeable of this region, and he's taken clear stances on issues of, for example, the Cyprus problem. Obviously, he and the U.S. administration will want to have as good as possible relations with all the countries in the region, including Turkey. But I think what he will bring is a commitment to a normal relation in international relations, a normalcy in international relations. That is, respecting international law, respecting good neighborliness, building solutions through peaceful means and not through violence and conflict. And this, I think, is something that will be very important, a very important message towards Turkey also, and towards President Erdogan, whom I also know well. So I think that this will be an important step as he takes over to give new impetus to a peace process in the wider region, which will be beneficial for us all.
So, Mr. Papandreou, thank you very much for being here on Euronews.
Thank you very much.
In the meantime, while the whole world is hoping for a smooth transition of power, Council President Charles Michel will invite Biden to a video conference call and then a summit in the bloc's political hub Brussels, possibly before his official inauguration. That's all for this week. Don't forget you can follow all the latest on Euronews and euronews.com. Thanks for watching and have a great week.